This is a video of one of the stories from the book Going Where They Belong, available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook on Amazon and from other booksellers. I hope you'll enjoy Royal Flush. Okay, so what if we're old? Is that such a crime? No, there's no crime in getting old. I'm just saying being old is a sad state of affairs. For one thing, we can't sleep worth a damn. I'm just so tired of being up all night, aren't you? Oh, it's okay. She interrupted herself to concentrate on sitting up. She poked her foot at her slipper. On the fourth try, she got it on and hefted her heavy body off the couch. Bending forward at the waist, her belly pressing out the buttons of her pajamas, she crossed the room to the hot plate and heated up a tomato soup. She sat at the table to eat it out of the pan and continue the conversation. No, there's no crime in getting old. The crime is in living through it. She put the empty pan in the sink and returned to the couch. Picking up the remote, she put the movie on mute and tucked herself under a nubby beige bedspread, leaving her slippers on and her feet sticking out over the edge of the couch. She reached up and turned off the light. So, here we are again. So what? So nothing. She closed her eyes and nestled the back of her head into the pillow. Let's count sheep. Okay, where shall we start? Start with number 1, that college boy. Drifting back, she found big suntanned hands, a glistening wristwatch, a plaid shirt, red and white and green, khakis coming unzipped, the softest lips. She was 16 years old, working in her father's drugstore in Lawrence, a college town, in 1952. He came in to buy soap. He had the gift of gab and a thick shock of blonde hair, and she had her father's truck. Sitting on a blanket in a field one spring night, her soft white legs stretched out from the little pleated skirt, no shoe on her foot. Oh, oh, oh. She sighed and diddled her fingers against the bedspread. A happiness. He was number 1. She brought her new skills back to high school. 2, 3, and 4 skipped past in a blur. A white pudgy tummy and wet hands, a yellow wool sweater that made her nose itch, freckles on a football player's hairless chest. Oh, oh, oh. And then number 5, a snotty younger boy who made fun of her by acting like it was him who got her to do it. Oh. The game was to remember as many as possible, to count as high as possible. But really, the game was to pretend to want to stay awake, counting and remembering, and then to lose the fight and give up into the elusive fields of sleep. She was getting there. 6, 7, and 8 waved past beneath twitching eyelids, a campus radical with a beaky nose and bad breath, an older man who came through town every few months in his 16-wheeler, who kicked his feet, a funny skinny boy who told a knock-knock joke in the middle of it. "Who's there?" she gasped. "A little old lady," he said, one thrust for each word. She knew the joke and attempted a yodel, and they fell apart laughing. Her breath deepened, and she went back to the count. 10. He was that blind date. But she was bored with the game, and they got all out of order after that and started shuffling themselves like cards, jacks and kings of diamonds and hearts. Jack of the back seat of a new 1962 Oldsmobile. Jack of a screened-in sun porch in a closed-up summer cabin on a lake in October. 11, 12, 13? She decided to focus on the kings of hearts, the ones who meant something. That would be number 1, Bill or Will, because he was her first, and it was so truly nice, the blanket, the night wind, the stars. She supposed there were stars, but didn't really remember that. Maybe she should count Ron as a king. They were together for 2 years. They were supposed to get married, and when he ran off to Colorado, she wasn't getting any younger. But really it was a good thing, because on the rebound she met number 16, the boy she did marry. The old woman's jaw slacked open, and her flesh softened along the back of her body. Dale, on leave from Fort Riley, and her sweet friendship with him over 5 days before he left for Vietnam. Then 2 years of letters and waiting. She didn't really wait. She briefly added numbers 17 through 23 or so, but they weren't kings of hearts. She wrote the letters to Dale and was glad to do so. Then he came back, and they married, and he was her king of hearts. She was his queen. He did very well in John Deere sales, and there were diamonds, too. After that, there were a few others, every one a Jack, until, to her great surprise, she met the Queen of Hearts. Who could have known there would be one whose shadowed eyes would talk to hers when she didn't even plan to be listening? Stroking softly small narrow limbs, such curly hair. Oh, happiness! Clarissa, my love, gone to heaven. Dale, my dear husband, my love, gone now as well. Bill or Will. Oh, 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 counting blessings. She shivered and wiped her eye, then tucked her hand under the cover. Are we asleep now? Shh, almost.